All right, well, welcome everyone. My name is Keith Hensley. I'm with CoreLogic. I've been a trainer up here for matrix conversion. We also had Jay Myers back in October with me doing training, and we also had Willie from Texas up here last week with us. And as you know, we are cutting over to matrix. So this webinar is going to show you how to add and edit listings using matrix, the new system. Fusion is now been taken out of adding and modifying listings, and as of Tuesday morning, November 15th, around 11 o'clock is when we're going to start adding listings using Matrix. So let's jump into Matrix. Hopefully everyone's been using Matrix, and hopefully everyone's been to training classes. I don't know when we're going to have future training classes again. We do have plenty of help help videos underneath the tab here, but what we're going to talk about today is this section right here. You do not yet have input add edit tab in Matrix. You will get this tomorrow, like I said, around 11 o'clock-ish. Around 11 o'clock is when that will be turned on, and that's when you're going to be able to go in and add and modify listings. Now, the same business rules apply. If you were able to add a listing in Fusion, you will be able to add a listing in Matrix. If you were not able to add a listing in Fusion, you will not be able to edit a listing in Fusion. Some people, though, even if you didn't have the ability to add a listing, you could go in and, let's say, add photos or add attachments or map your properties, things like that. So the same business rules apply as to what we had in the old system in Fusion. So same business rules apply. And if there's a listing secretary out there and you were able to add listings for anyone in your office or any other one of your offices within your firm, same business rules should apply. So everything there should just all stay the same and work directly. The only difference is you're just using Matrix and not Fusion. Now I'm currently logged in today as Daffy Duck. Okay, Daffy Duck, along with all the other Looney Tunes out there, are the testers that we're using here. So Daffy Duck is currently at a office or listing secretary level. So as a listing secretary, they're going to be able to do multiple listings within the firms and stuff. So the first thing you're going to want to do to add a listing, obviously, you're just going to go up and click on this tab up here, Input, Add Edits, which will be there by tomorrow, November 15th at 11 o'clock. I will come back and show you how to modify a listing after it's been submitted to the listing. So what I want to show you first is how to add a new one. Once we add a new one, then we'll come back and we'll do some other stuff like modify, change price, add photos, and all that good stuff here. So the first thing I like to do is just click on Add New. Then it's going to ask us for our property types, and these property types should be the same property types that we had before in Fusion. We have the single family and a single family coming soon. We have the condos and a condo coming soon, mobile home and mobile home coming soon. So the same one should apply to both there. I do want to say though, if you're going to do a coming soon listing, you definitely need to make sure you click on this one, because this is a change that we had from the other system. In Fusion, you could start with the single family, and then in there, say it's coming soon or active or whatever. If it's a coming soon, you must use this one. In fact, I'm going to pick on this one here first. I'm going to choose coming soon, and then what you're going to notice now is these three options here at the top. The first one is a fill from a real list tax. If it's in one of these counties, we definitely encourage you to pick the county and then enter your street number and street name and search for it, and it'll auto-populate it based off of that tax record, tax card. Same way as we did before in the old system. Up here, the second tab is the copy feature. Now, just like before, you're going to have to, you can only copy listings that were your listings. You can't copy someone else's listing. So if it was your listing prior, you can simply hit copy listing, type in that MLS number, and click fill, or do a search for it. And once you find it, then fill it from there. But like I said, it's just got to be your listing first. And then after you've done that, I believe it will even ask you if you want to copy the photos over or not there too. That's something I haven't really tested or confirmed, but that's the way it normally should work there. And then of course the very last one is start with a blank listing. And that's what I'm going to do in this very first one, the coming soon option here. So in the coming soons, you're going to just type in your information, price, date, expiration date, and the on-market dates. Okay, so the listing date is the date you have the contract, but it doesn't go on the market until this date. And this date must be within 3 weeks, 21 days of the contract date. Okay, so that should be the same rules and regulations that you had before on coming soon. So it's got to be within 21 days. And then on that date you have it set to come on the market, it'll automatically go to active on that day there. Okay.
Hey, Keith.
Yes, ma'am.
Keith, you can only set it for 21 days from the date of the entry of the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Not the
list date.
That's right. Thank you.
And everything in yellow on these listing loads are required fields.
Right. Absolutely. And that's something else you're going to notice here. And this is what you're noticing here that's different. In Fusion, you would just keep scrolling down, and see all the information here. Well, one of the things you notice different here, now we got these little tabs that kind of break everything up into little bite-sized chunks for you. And so whatever's in yellow or gold are required, and if it's not in yellow or gold, they're not required here. So I'll show you that again as I get into this here. But that's correct. It's based on, so today's date is November 14th. So when I go into the on-market date, it's the date I'm physically typing this in, physically adding this. I got 21 days, and that goes the on-market date there. I'm actually going to just cancel this. I just wanted to show real quickly and let me hit cancel again. I just wanted to show you the difference between the single family and the single family coming soon. This one up here is what I'm going to go on to next. I'm just going to click on single family. Same thing, fill from cross property, or fill from realist tax, copy it, or start with a blank. This time I'm actually going to pick Lucas County and do my tax auto pop. I'm going to type in 3219, and the address I've got here is Deepwater, and then I'm just going to search for it. And there again, it just confirms the address. You got the owner's name over here that you can just make sure you've got the correct property here. And then once you're satisfied, you hit the fill button. And just like before, once you find it, you hit fill. It just pulls all that information over and populates it into here as much as possible. And like I just mentioned, everything here in yellow is are the required fields. So you cannot submit this until you get all the required fields filled in. And then we break things down into tabs up here. Now this very last tab up here called Matrix Testing, you will not have that or should not have that. I currently am showing it now just because we're testing this, and we don't want these listings to go live out there for anyone else to see. So you will not see those there. Down below here, you'll notice it says map not found. But as long as you've got the street number, street name, and zip code at any time, just hit the update map button here, and it runs and populates that map where it thinks it's mapped at. Now, there is a new feature within Matrix that when you add a listing, there's a Google Street View. Okay, now this one doesn't look like a Google Street View is available, and so what I might need to do is show this Street View later, because you can fix the Google Street View. So once you've got your house up here, what I always encourage people, no matter what, is to hit this set lat long manually, and it'll open it up, and it just allows you to confirm that we've got the right property and got it mapped at the right location. And you can always just click on any of the parcel addresses behind the scenes, and it'll just help you confirm that you've got the right address here. And then if it's wrong, and see that one there, it does look like I've got the right property here. But if it is incorrect, you can always just move that pin wherever you need to go. And if you really need to, if you need to move this up, and let's say the listing is mapped way over here somewhere, and you need to reset that pin. Well, the pin's not here, so if you hit the reset pin right here, now you can just click on where that pin needs to go. Reset pin, and then, nope, shouldn't hit there. Oh, I'm sorry, place new pin. It's been a long week here. Place new pin, and now you click where it needs to go. Okay, so that's where just show you how to move the map around. And if it is correct, then you say done. I'm just going to hit cancel down here. Okay, so please make sure your listings are mapped correctly, and if it's grayed out like this, I'll try to click on it, but you can see up here no street view available for that specific location. Okay, so I'll show you that again, because you're going to want to get the mapping street view correct. Then of course you're just going to go through and fill out all the required fields. If it was an auction, you pick a date, you type in your price here, type in your list dates. You've got a little calendar here you can open up and pick the dates. Same thing with expiration date. Street number, street direction. Of course, if it's north, Deepwater, and lane or avenue, of course you're going to separate it that way. Unit number, all this stuff. You notice the tax auto pop filled all this in correctly. If you hover over these question marks here, once in a while you'll see if it's a field that's really kind of hard, people are stumbling over all the time, we can go in and put a message there that makes it kind of understandable what it is and what we're looking for. So some of these fields are just pretty obvious what they are. Okay, so maybe you're going to type in your area, and since this is not a real listing, I'm going to put it in area 30. And then of course you're going to pick your subdivision in here, and I'm just going to pick none here too. Occupied. Okay, all these fields, hopefully everyone's very comfortable with this here, because these are the same fields that we had before, so nothing has changed on this here. And in fact, I don't even want to go through and add all this stuff, because I think it's pretty obvious how to do this here. Now, I'm in as Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck is the listing secretary. So listing secretary could then say, well, it's not for me, it's for an agent of ours. So she could go in here and say, find an agent, and go in here and then just pick the agent that it belongs to. And I think this one, I think it's going to be Tweety Bird. We'll do Bird here. And then run a search. Okay. Let's see here. I know, let's do Sylvester the cat. I know I did Sylvester here. So you type that one in and hit refresh, and then you'll see if I scroll down here, it just types that in here. But to find an agent, it should work that way. Let's do cats here. Run search. Okay. Yeah, might need to look at this one, why it's not pulling in Sylvester the cat in the search, because as you can see, I just ran this here. I put in Sylvester's agent ID, and it find it just fine for me. Okay. And then a co-agent, same thing. You know, I can do T-Bird here, and then refresh it. And if I scroll down, you'll notice I got the listing agent and the co-agent here. Okay. So that's how that part works. Next, you'll see here is interior features, interior exterior features. Pulls over as much as possible, as much as we can on the listing tax input, auto populate here. So we got bedrooms here, and then we got rooms here. We'll just do 9. We'll type in your build description there. Okay. And then we'll do upper full baths. We'll say it's got 1 upper full bath, no full baths. We'll say it's got a master bedroom. Accessibility features, yes. I think once again, I don't think I need to go through all this here. I'm just going to fill in as much as I can. Oop, don't want 10 half baths in the lower part there. Let's make that 0 there. Now room types here. You'll notice the room types are a little bit different. On the room types, you're going to come in here, you're going to come in and pick your first room that you want to do. So for example, let's say I want to do the living room, put in what level it's on, lower, main, or upper, and once again you'll notice the required fields because they're in yellow. So it is a requirement to put in the length and the width, which should have been exactly what we had before. Now it's not a requirement to do the flooring and the features, but it really is very important because you don't know how other people are going to be searching this. So as much as possible, even if a field is not a requirement, I still think it's really good to throw in as much information here as possible there. And then you just hit more, and then you pick your next room. Maybe the next room will be the entry, and that's on the main level. And the length here and the width and the flooring. And then I can hit more and just keep on going down this list and keep adding more and more and more here. Okay, so we'll do a great room, main floor, 23. It's a great room, so it's a big one. Okay, so you just keep on going down that list until you get them all inputted there. And if you did make a mistake here, you can always say delete and it takes it out. Okay, because maybe you like a different order for your rooms to show up in. After that, we've got features. Of course here, garage spaces, 2, lot size, acres, plat, school district. Once again, all the required fields, you're going to fill this out. Just looking for anything that really is different or special. Here at the top, it tells you how many maximum you can do. You can see the style is not a requirement, but once again, just because it's not required doesn't mean it shouldn't be filled out. So I'm just going to pick one story, exterior. I'm going to, because of maximum 2. Now watch this. I'm going to put 3 in here, 3 options here. So remember, exterior has 3 options selected. Even though it says 2, it looks like it's let me take 3, but it shouldn't after I get done with this. So let me go in here and pick a couple more here. Okay, maximum 1, maximum of 5 here. Just going to pick something. Okay, now down here at the bottom, at any time as I'm going through this, I can save it as incomplete, and at any time I can cancel the inputs here. Okay, so I can save as incomplete and I can cancel inputs. Now, of course, I cannot submit the listing, because if I submit the listing, I don't have all the required fields put in, so it's going to give me an error message. Now, we've got this button here called validate. What validate will do, it's almost like I am submitting the listing, and it goes through and validates every single field to make sure I put it in correctly. So by validating here in a moment, I should get an error message on this field here because I did fill it in, because it's a required field, but I get the error because I put too many options in there, so I get an error message. These other required fields that I did fill in, I should not get an error message because I did fill them in correctly, and so forth there. So validate is almost like submit, because see, if I hit submit here, and I won't, it won't submit it because I don't have all the requirements field, but what submit also does, it validates every field too. So it's a validate plus making it live if everything was correct. So the problem.
Excuse me, Keith.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have a question, and it's about the room, selecting the room areas.
Yes, ma'am.
The question is, does that mean that we determine the order the rooms appear on the MLS?
I believe so.
It does, and if I could interrupt here for a minute. So what happens is, let's say the first room that you select is a living room, okay? And then let's say the next room that you select is bedroom or master bedroom. Or so your second room will go to on the display of the listing. Living room will be first on the left, and then on the right of that will be bedroom.
Okay, right.
or master bedroom, whichever one you select.
Right.
And then when you select the next room type, the third room type, it will be to the left. So if you select exercise room, it will be under living room.
Right, because
and
you
the
got the
next
two
room,
columns there, right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then the next
So
one
I just
will
want to
be
make sure everybody
underneath.
understands that.
Right. So you have two columns. The first one will be living room. Second one will be master bedroom, just to the right of that on the top line of row 2. And then
Right.
exercise. Maybe what I could do is actually pull up an example and show this. But yeah, that's exactly how that will do.
Right. So if you want all the bedrooms in order, you have to make sure that, if you choose all the bedrooms in the second column. So you do living room, master bedroom, whatever, exercise room, then bedroom 1.
Right.
So that's the way it has to be.
Okay. Very good. Important. I didn't realize that. So yes, thank you, because that's how your fields are put out there. Okay, so kind of remember this, you guys, and I'll come back to it again, show it to you afterwards and put that there. Very good question, whoever asked that question there. Okay, so validate. So I'm not ready to submit it, and even if I did, it wouldn't take it because it doesn't have everything. But I would stay away from submitting, because what if I did have everything in there and not ready to go? Because then it would make it live, and I'm not ready for it to go live. So I'm just going to hit validate here. Validate goes through, and you can see all these little red dots up here, and it shows me a lot of error messages. Some of these are very, you can understand why, because I didn't fill them in. They're required, and I didn't fill them in. But remember, exterior, it says maximum 2, but I put 3 in here. It made it look like it was going to take it, but it didn't. So now if I take that out and I hit validate, now you'll see it's no error message there now. So I filled that out. Okay, so that's what validate does. Validate goes through. In fact, if I go back to the general tab here, I want to show you another case where sometimes it will cause an error. Actually, I think it's on the interior exterior side here. Let's go back up here a little bit. It's with square feet. Sometimes when people do this, they'll put a comma 00. Well, first of all, you notice you can't do a comma, but sometimes you might put a square feet in there, period 00. Well, it won't do this here either. So if I hit validate, you'll notice it gave me an error message right here because of the decimal points there. So that's what validate does. But a submit listing would do the same thing, except it would submit it for me if everything was correct. After that, let's go to features. I think I showed you that, how, okay, and there's also an option down here to view all the errors. I can click on that, and you can see everything, why it failed, and just basically everything I picked was a required field, and I didn't pick anything. That's why I get that error message there. And then remarks, of course, remarks and showing information, remarks, public remarks, agent remarks, everything is exactly the same as it was before. And some people had actually asked, can we make remarks larger, bigger space? Well, the problem with that is, yes, we could, but then you're going to make some of these reports print off on 2 pages if everyone fills it in. So it's a good and bad thing. Yeah, we like it, but then it causes other problems and makes the reports too big. So that's why all this information is exactly the same thing here. Okay. And then, of course, you type in the directions, and you could say go, now watch this, go north. Whenever there's remarks you type in, if you misspell something, you'll notice it underlines it in red for you. So if you just right click on that, it gives you an option to correct it there, and now you can, it just puts that in there. Okay, here's your lockbox information, and so forth. And down here is where you do your non-branded virtual tours. Here. Now I also want to mention that we've got this new company we're partnering with. It's called Property Panorama, and later on when I go and upload photos, it's going to take your your first 5 photos of your property and turn it into a virtual tour for you for free. So every listing will have its own, and it'll be a non-branded, without your picture and branding information, because that we cannot put branded virtual tours in here, just like we were not allowed to do before in Fusion also. And that's it. Like I said, you will not have matrix testing here. That will not be there. So, so I'm going to hit, and watch this. I'm going to hit save it, or I'm not going to hit save as incomplete. Okay, let's say I got this far and I get distracted. I went up and started talking to someone. Next thing you know, we're going off into a meeting or out to lunch, and I forgot to save this as incomplete. Okay, so just let me sign out here. And then when I log back in, you know, after 30 minutes or an hour, I forget the time period, whatever Fusion's timeout period should be the same here. So if I go back in as Daffy Duck here, and let me log in, you're going to get this message here that we auto-saved it for you. So in case something happened, your computer crashed, maybe you're using a battery on your laptop and it died on you and you weren't finished yet, well, we auto-save it. As you go from tab to tab to tab, everything gets saved for you here. So as you get prompted to log back in, it's going to say, hey, look, we recovered something for you. Do you want us to restore it for you or discard it? Well, you could say discard if you were just playing around, you wasn't serious about it. Or maybe you're in a hurry, you got to hurry up and find do a search. Well, if you hit skip, the next time you log in and the next time and the next time, it'll keep asking you, do you want to restore or discard it until you make a decision. In this case, I'm going to hit restore. Restore pulls it right back up. Yes, ma'am.
Keith, if you hit discard, does that mean the incomplete listing goes away?
Yep, absolutely. It goes away. So don't discard it.
Whatever you started, it's gone.
Yes, yes. So either restore it, meaning you want to pull it back up and now save it as incomplete, or if you hit discard because you were just playing around, just trying to see how it is, it will get rid of it as an incomplete listing, right? Or you can hit skip, which means you're not going to decide right now. You'll decide on that later, you know, whenever you want to. So those are your options there. And now when I save this as incomplete, Sharon, tell me, how long can listings stay as incomplete? Do you know that answer? And do you know how, well, yes, ma'am.
So they'll be in incomplete for 15 days.
Okay. Is that the same as it was in Fusion?
No, Fusion, it was 5 days.
Okay, so they get
Matrix
10 extra 15 days. Okay, yeah. I get 10 extra days. Great.
So we have some more questions here, and if you don't mind, okay. Someone has asked, will the data sheets be updated to reflect the new input layout?
Yes.
We'll be sending those data sheets to every participant and subscriber of our MLS this afternoon. They have been updated. They're interactive. We'll be sending them to you in an email, and you just click on the links to get those data sheets. They will also be under the resource area in Matrix. They will also be in dotloop under the TBR or TRAR interactive forms as of tomorrow morning in dotloop. So we have taken care of that. Also, the first photo will need to be the exterior of the structure. And by the way, starting January 1st, there will be one photo required for every listing that you put into the MLS. At least one exterior photo.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
And okay, I think I got all the questions.
Cool, thanks. I'm making these notes so I can make sure I mention this on tomorrow's webinar there too. Okay, good. Now I saved it as incomplete. Now this number is not a good number right now because we're just testing, but starting tomorrow morning, when because we're currently up in the 511s, I think 511 number range. Tomorrow, I believe we're starting at 600. Actually, it would be 6 million. So we're starting with 600,000 starting tomorrow. So I saved it as incomplete. That will be a good MLS number when it goes live. And even though it's an incomplete listing, I can still add my photos and my attachments before it goes live. That's a huge benefit to Fusion, or to Matrix over Fusion. So now, even though it's not a completed an active listing yet, I can go in and hit my add edit photos here. And then here it says to upload, click browse, upload multiple photos at once, hold down the control option key while dragging. All that should be exactly the same as Fusion. You could do multiple photos at one time. We do have it doing 36 photos now instead of 20, so that's an improvement. And here you can see we're asking for upload photos at least 1024 by 768 pixels in size, where the old one was 800 by 600. And like I said, you used to get a message saying that your photo is too big and you had to resize it, make it smaller. You should never have that problem now with this here. Like Sharon just mentioned, you do need your first photo must be exterior fronts, and as of January 1st, you're going to have at least one photo here, is what she just said. So if I click the first one, hold down this shift, and I pick the last one here, that's fine. I'm going to hit open, and it's just going to take those photos. Now, of course, if I had a really large photos out there, I mean, huge, I mean, of course, this time period here might be a little slower just because it's pulling down a large photo. These are actually smaller. In fact, here it says, note the photos below outlined in red are lower than the recommended. That's why you see this red dotted line here, because it's smaller than what what we're asking for. We'll still take it, but we're just letting you know that the photo is too small out there. Then what you can do to reorder, just simply grab it and drop it where you want these photos to go. Maybe want the guest house number 2 and other one out here. And I wish this was my house, but it's not. So then I can just either click on a photo itself or click on this part up here at the top, and it just opens it up, and you can rotate it up here. Okay. Down below, I always encourage people to enter a description for it. So just click in there and you can type in your description of the property. I think that's a great thing to help, because the other agents and the public can see these comments that you have here. And we do have the spell check in here too. Otherwise, you just hit save. Then let's say you were coming back in later. Well, you could pick your photos that you don't want. Maybe you decide to take them out, and you can hit delete check down here and just takes them right back out. So I think it's very easy to do, adding your photos. But the main thing is you can add your photos before it goes live. And then what you're just going to do is you're just going to hit save. And it's still an incomplete listing, but you've got your you've already got your photos attached to it. And then you can do your attachments next. You just click on attachments. You can go and browse your computer and find it. Pick your description, what it is, or pick the type and then put your description up here. And you notice the size of your attachments. Before, I think it was 2 or 2.5 megabytes. Now it's 10 megabytes in max for your attachments. I know they're called supplements here. We're going to see if we can get that renamed to say add attachment, but right now it says supplement. So they've increased at least, it looks like, because I just tested this last week, I think it's 4 times the size of attachments here. So you just go and hit upload, and once you got your attachment there. So I think that's another benefit there too, is the size allotment for your attachments. So once you've got your listings in there, now this is incomplete, so it's not finished yet. So all I would do is go back to inputs. Now when I come back in here, I need to modify a listing here. So I'm currently in as a listing secretary of a firm. So for me, if you're on this call and you're a listing secretary, you're going to see these 3 options here. The first one says pick your office. Well, pick your office. Now, if you're a listing secretary and let's say you only have 1 office, well, you won't see this top option here. All it'll say is, well, pick your agent. So you go in and pick your agent here. And I think I actually put that listing under someone else, didn't I? I think I did it under Sylvester the cat right here. And then now if you're an agent here and you're able to add your own listings, you won't see these first 2 boxes here, because the only thing you can do are your own listings. And that's what you're seeing right here. And see, there's that one listing, 5065 3219 North Deepwater Lane right here. You notice it has an I there. The I means it's an incomplete listing. CS means it's a coming soon. A P means it's pending. MOB means it's mobile. CND means it's condo. A is active. Okay, that's a multifamily rental lease, a rent lease right there. So if I want to finish this deep water one, it's got an I there for incomplete. I would just click on it and it opens it back up. Now what I can do is I can still manage the photos and attachments. I can schedule open houses. Even though it's an incomplete listing, I can still schedule my open houses. So that way, once it goes live, I've already got that scheduled. They're already taken care of here. Or I can go back in the single family form where I was just at, and then that way I can go in and finish everything here and take care of everything that I left it at. Okay. Let me log out as Daffy Duck. If I'm a member and I don't have, if I'm a realtor and I don't have add edit capability, like Roadrunner here. Roadrunner does not add their own listings. Roadrunner has to have someone else do it for them. Well, with Roadrunner logs in, he goes to inputs. He cannot add these listings. So look, he tries to click on add new, says, sorry, you don't have the ability to add a new listing. But he can come in and pick one of his listings, incomplete or active listing. He can click on it and schedule his open houses, add his photos, add his attachments, assign his lockbox, manage showing time, use the new property panorama virtual tour feature. And he, since this is his listing, he can go in and map this property here. He can hit just map property, because Daffy Duck, who's a listing secretary, probably doesn't know where this house is located at. So, you know, I'm just going to go by what the system did. So as a listing secretary or as a broker, I would encourage all your agents to go in, no matter if they have that ability or not, to add listings and update their map and have the system map it. And then like I said, after the system automatically maps it, have them go in and set it manually just to make sure it is correct. Because the next feature here is to choose the Google Street View. So after it's mapped, you're going to choose the Google Street View. And what this does, this opens up and it says what the system thinks is a street view. Now, I think that is not a good street view, because you don't even see the house. It's like, where is it? Is it on the right or left? So what you could do is go in here as the listing agent and get it just set up just right here. Now, you'll notice here I got the tree in my way. So what you could do is scoot down a little bit down the street and get it at a different angle here until you get it right. And sometimes the house might even be behind you. Okay, it might be this house over here that's the street view. And sometimes it's looking at the sky, sometimes it's in between two houses. So the whole bottom line is get your street view looking really nice and set, and once you're ready with that, hit OK. And now that's going to be the street view. Well, you'll still have to hit submit down here. You'll still have to hit submit, otherwise it's not set yet. But encourage your agents to go in and check their listings. And like it says, it doesn't matter if they have the ability to add or modify a listing. They should still go in, do their own photos if you want them to, but that's up to the broker too, by the way. But go up and do your photos and or your map, I'm sorry, and make sure it gets mapped correctly there. Okay, and then once that's done, I go back to inputs. Now, okay, I'm in as Roadrunner, so Roadrunner can't do anything here. So let's go back. Let me go back in as Daffy Duck here. And log back in here. Okay, and see, it remembered, I think I started one there. Let me discard it there. I don't need that. Pull it up. Okay, so once a listing is active, so let's go in here, head broker office, Daffy Duck here. And once I have an active listing, see it says A right there, single family, it's active. Now when I click on it, now what I can do here is, well, I can go back into it and maybe add or change the remarks field. I can add more rooms or sizes or flooring, whatever I might have missed before, and update it. I can schedule open houses. In fact, let me go ahead and click on open houses. Here you can go ahead and add open house, MLS wide or public. Active, yes. Dates, pick the dates. We'll say it's this coming Sunday. We'll say it's 1 to 4. I could give it a description. I can hit more and do another one. Maybe it's going to be public, yes, and it's going to be the Sunday after the 27th. So I can go ahead and get several of these set up and hit submit listing. And now I've got that open houses scheduled for that property there. Now let's go back into input again and let's open this up again, this active listing. What I can do now, you notice I can't change it to sold or anything like that, but I can change it because it's an active listing. Active listings first have to be contingent or pending. So if I go in here and I say contingent, the only thing it asks me for now is, okay, what's it contingent on? We'll say inspection, and I'll submit it. That listing is now contingent. If I go back in input, open this back up, it's no longer active, it is now contingent. If I open it back up, now I can change it back to active if I need to, or I can make it pending. When I go into pending, it's going to say, well, what's the pending date? Well, we'll say it's today, and I submit it. Okay, it's now pending. So if I go back in here later, open this up, you'll know that listing is now pending. And now that it's pending, now I can change it to sold. And when I go into sold, now it's going to say the closing date, the closing price, seller concessions, terms of sale, who is the agent here of record, and might have been even a co-selling agent there, and submit it. I'm just going to hit cancel here though. I'm just going to hit cancel. But at any time you notice you can manage your showing time, assign a lockbox, add your attachments, manage photos, cancel. Let's see here. Remember that property panorama. Let's go into here. Let me open this back up here. Property panorama. As soon as you give us, like I said, if you give us 5 or more photos, we'll take the first 5 photos for you, and every listing that has 5 photos or more will automatically have a virtual tour. So when you're in here and you do your search for properties, you're going to notice over here, that's why a lot of listings here has a virtual tour here. So
Keith, if I could interrupt you for just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a minimum of 3. So if you have 3 photos loaded, it will make you a virtual tour.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
3 to 5 will give you a free virtual tour.
What if I have 36 photos? Will make all 36?
Well then, no. Well then, the agent has to go into the premium version of Property Panorama, and that will be a cost.
Yes.
But that's all explained. I believe November 17th we're having a webinar on Property Panorama.
Ooh.
So please go to the TRAR website and register for that webinar.
On the 17th, okay, webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good, I didn't know about that. Okay, but it takes your first 5 photos, so it's got to have 3 or more photos, but up to your first 5 photos, so put your first best photos first. And then when you click on that, it'll open it up here, and it'll start playing music here in a second. There we go. See, it takes you Property Panorama, and it's going to go through and do your first 5 photos there for you. Okay, and that should also put it on your client's portal too. So if I email these listings to my clients, they should be able to see the virtual tours also. So put your 5 best photos there out there first. Let's see here. Back on the home page, when you log in, you should notice this also, your listings, your incomplete listings, your coming soon, your active listings, your expiring listings. You notice how some of these are in red here. I also want to show hit counters here too. Well, actually, you know what, we'll have more information on that. So right here, if I just click on incomplete listings, you can see my 2 incomplete listings there. And if I go up here under my matrix, my listings, you can see those 2 listings right there too. In my active listings. Oop, I thought Daffy Duck did. Oh, you know why I changed the status? Daffy did have one there. Okay. And Sharon, I'm pretty sure we can do this, but if I go to my incomplete listings, if I put a check mark here, I think we can have an extra button here called edits. So right here, I can click on it and hit edit here too. Do you want me to do that if we can? I don't see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Just make it easier, because right now you're in your incomplete listings and you check it and you're like, I can't edit that listing. So I think there should be an edit button here coming, and same thing with active listings and whatever. If I had some, if I'm able to edit that listing, then I should have that edit button there. Otherwise, I shouldn't have it. Otherwise, I'd have to go to inputs, pick that listing, see my 2 incomplete ones, and you notice I didn't have any active ones to do. Otherwise, I have to come in here, click on it, and then it opens up. So from either the home page, clicking on that, or under my matrix, my listings, and I click on it, I should be able to click on it and say edit right there too. So that's something we're still testing, and that's why we're having these webinars, so I can fix some things that are not here yet. And other than that, is there any other questions out there? Let me kind of open this up here and see what kind of questions we've got. Let me do that search for a property. Remember the order? If I open this listing up here, yeah, because I got 2 screens open here. I'll tell you what, let me do a search here real quick. And I want to show what Sharon was talking about. On that detail view, agent full view, remember, this is where you were talking at, Sharon. Sharon was talking about master bedroom, 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 living room. So if you want all your, see, the first one you put in goes here, the second one you put in goes here, third one you put in goes here, fourth one you put in here, fifth one, and then sixth one here. That's how they go. So now that you know it, if you do bedroom first, you might want to put living room, and then bedroom 2, and then family room, and then bedroom 3, and then kitchen, something like that, so that way they all line up correctly. Just an FYI on how that populates there. Okay.
So Keith, excuse me, can you show them under which tab they put the URL in for the virtual tour, if they have their own?
Yes.
Virtual tour company?
Yeah, thought I'd show that earlier, but yeah, I'll pull it back up again, absolutely. Go back in and hit single family. I believe it's under features, I think. It could be under, no, it's under remarks and showing information. If I scroll down here, it's down here. That's where you copy and paste that URL for your virtual tour. Now it's got to be, please make sure it's a non-branded one. We do not take the branded one in there. That's against policy. Okay. Do 36 photos, large photos. How do I know? Okay. Anything else we need to talk about concerning adding and modifying listings? Starts tomorrow about 11 o'clock. The new MLS numbers will start at the 6 million mark instead of where we left off at the 511 numbers. And I think it's pretty simple, you guys. I really do. I love adding the photos and attachments before. I love that we can do more photos, and the photos are much better quality, higher quality ones. Now you don't have to replace your photos. All the listings that already have photos are already in here, but if you got better quality photos for your listing plus more, plus 16 more, tomorrow you could come in and replace some of the smaller photos, because Fusion didn't let you do that, have bigger quality photos, and replace them with the bigger ones. But you don't have to, but that's just a tip out there. If you got really nice listings with really good photo qualities out there, you could do that. Anything else, anyone? Okay. Well, I do thank you guys for your time. I'm going to stop the recording now, and we'll post this out there on YouTube. I don't know how quickly we can get that out there. I'm sure you guys are just dying to watch this again and again. But no, I definitely want to put this out there so people who missed this can watch this again. And we'll do the same tomorrow, 1 o'clock. So if you forget anything, have any questions, please let us know, and we can answer them if I wasn't clear enough with this here. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, you guys.